Why did Alabama stop being feared? Seriously, think about that for a second. What happened to the powerhouse that once terrified every opponent before even stepping onto the field? The Crimson Tide just suffered a reality check loss to Florida State. And AJ McCarron didn't hold back. He broke the silence and said what everyone in the locker room has been too scared to admit. If you think this was just another bad game, you're about to see why this moment could mark the end of an era or the start of something even bigger. Before we dive in, I need you to do two things. Drop a comment saying where you're watching this from. It's how we build this community, and help us hit our challenge of gaining 500 new subscribers with this video alone. Subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming next. You'll be reminded first, ahead of everyone who didn't subscribe or dropped off early. And yes, we've hidden something special at the end of this story. So even if you're multitasking, leave the video playing. It counts. If we hit our goal this week, we'll release an exclusive new video about the untold truth and behind-the-scenes drama shaking up Alabama football. AJ McCarron didn't just criticize the team. He exposed the cracks that have been forming since Nick Saban's retirement. 4 losses to unranked teams in just 14 games. That's not just a stat, it's a collapse. The Reuters reported it, but fans felt it in their bones. The mystique is gone. The intimidation factor, once automatic, is now questioned. On the field, the talent is there, but the effort, missing. The discipline, forgotten. You don't need fancy analytics to see something's broken. Even head coach Kalen DeBoer on live radio admitted he was pissed off about Saturday's embarrassment. The calm persona is cracking, but is it too late? Meanwhile, inside the program, the culture has taken a nosedive. Roll Bama Roll called it out. What we're seeing now is toxic positivity, a feel-good environment where no one is held accountable, where locker room speeches replace the fire of discipline, where coaches are too soft and players care more about TikTok clips than their tackle angles. You don't rebuild a legacy like that, you lose it fast. So now the question isn't just, can Alabama recover? It's, will anyone step up before this free fall becomes permanent? How do you compete with a ghost like Nick Saban? That's the question Kalen DeBoer has been dodging, or maybe denying, since the moment he signed his contract. It's not just about schemes or game plans, it's about stepping into a cathedral built on discipline, fear of failure, and total dominance. The legacy Saban left behind isn't a trophy case. It's a psychological monument that weighs on every coach, every player, every decision. And DeBoer, whether he admits it or not, is being measured against that shadow every single day. According to the New York Post, DeBoer is already sitting in a hot seat, and insiders say if he doesn't survive September, his fate could be sealed. This isn't just a rebuild, it's a trial by fire. So what really changed in the locker room from one year to the next? Under Saban, fear of mediocrity was wired into the DNA of the team. You didn't just play to win, you played to not disappoint. Now, the ESPN analysts called it out. There's no edge, no urgency, no pride in every rep. Players jog back after blown plays, effort is inconsistent, and mental mistakes pile up. In the past, guys feared the film room more than the opponent. Now it seems like some are just happy to be on the field. The lack of attention to detail, the missed gaps, the soft tackles, all signs that something deeper is unraveling. Not talent, culture. Here's the cold truth. In just 14 games under DeBoer, Alabama has lost to unranked teams 4 times. That's the same number Saban accumulated in 235 games. Let that sink in. The program that once demanded perfection is now being beaten by teams they used to crush in the first quarter. This isn't a slow decline, it's a cliff. The team's identity, forged in fire under Saban, is being rewritten in real time, and not for the better. And the worst part? The players, the fans, and the nation watching know it. If DeBoer wants to survive, he has to do more than win games. He has to resurrect a mindset. Why isn't anyone afraid of losing their spot anymore? That was one of the most piercing questions AJ McCarron asked. And he wasn't joking. Back in his day, A single missed assignment could land you on the bench for weeks. Today, players are warming up with their phones in hand, earbuds in, laughing like it's a backyard scrimmage. McCarron, visibly frustrated, exposed a brutal truth. The fear of accountability is gone. Alabama used to be a battlefield where only the toughest survived. Now, according to him, some players look more like influencers than athletes. The effort, minimal. The urgency, missing. One player jogged through a defensive breakdown like it was a casual morning run. And it's not just optics, it's rot. This isn't a TikTok problem, it's a culture collapse. McCarron's outrage reflects what fans have felt for months but couldn't articulate. Players showing up to warm-ups with phones. A lineman caught on video scrolling right before kickoff. No sense of focus, no fear of failure, no fire. And AJ didn't stop there. He challenged key players by name. He called out Deontay Lawson, an All-American linebacker, for loafing. He criticized Ryan Williams for disappearing on the field. These weren't personal attacks, they were wake-up calls. The message was clear. If you can't carry the legacy, get out of the way. Behind the scenes, frustration is boiling. According to a Bro Bible report, some boosters are so fed up they're willing to buy out DeBoer's contract, nearly $70 million, just to stop the bleeding. That's not just rich people complaining, that's institutional panic. If your former star QB, your core financial backers, and your loyal fan base are all sounding the alarm, it's not noise, it's a siren. The effort on the field mirrors the effort off it. Everyone's coasting. And if no one steps in, with fire, with standards, with courage, this won't be a rebuilding year. It'll be the new normal. And Alabama was never built to be average. Is it too late to turn this around? That's the question Alabama fans are asking, some in frustration, others still clinging to hope. After the brutal loss to Florida State and the firestorm that followed, Kalen DeBoer finally showed a side many weren't sure existed. On his weekly appearance on Hey Coach, he didn't hold back. "I'm pissed," he said bluntly. For a coach known for his calm demeanor, that single phrase hit like a thunderclap. Maybe, just maybe, the message is sinking in. Maybe this wasn't just another excuse-laden press conference. Maybe it was the spark Alabama desperately needed. Inside the locker room, something shifted too. According to Roll Bama Roll, players held a closed-door meeting, no coaches allowed. On the surface, that might sound like mutiny, but maybe it's exactly what had to happen. No more fluff, no more slogans. Just teammates looking each other in the eye and saying, "We either fix this now, or we stop pretending we're Alabama." The program fell from number 8 to number 21 in the AP rankings in 1 week, one of the steepest drops in modern Crimson Tide history. That's not a stumble, that's a wake-up call. And some players at least seem ready to answer. But can DeBoer win back the fan base? Can he light the same fire that Saban ignited for years? That's the real test. It's not about press quotes or sideline posture, it's about results. It's about showing up on game day with energy, accountability, and a visible return to the standards Alabama was built on. No one's asking DeBoer to be Saban, but they are demanding leadership that commands respect, not just agreement. If he can channel that anger into action, if the players who met behind closed doors bring that fire onto the field, maybe, just maybe, this season won't be remembered as the fall, but the reckoning before the rise. There's a reason Alabama fans are different. It's not just about winning games. It's about protecting a legacy. For over a decade, the Crimson Tide wasn't just a football team. It was a symbol of ruthless excellence, forged under pressure, polished by fear of failure, and delivered with surgical precision. The Saban era built more than a dynasty. It built a standard. And what we're witnessing now is more than just a few blown coverages or missed tackles. It's the slow erosion of that standard. As Outkick recently pointed out, the mojo of Alabama football is fading. That's more than a stat, it's a spiritual warning. The fall from number 8 to number 21, the sideline antics, the lack of effort, all of it points to a deeper crisis of identity. Once the most feared program in the country, Alabama is now being talked about in the past tense. Dog Sports reported that coaches in the SEC are replaced not for losing titles, but for losing grip. And Kalen DeBoer is skating dangerously close to that edge. The fans sense it, the boosters feel it, and former players like AJ McCarron are screaming it. This isn't just a rebuilding year, it's a fork in the road. But maybe, just maybe, this storm was needed. Because real change doesn't come from comfort, it comes from confrontation. From watching what you love bleed and deciding not to let it die, DeBoer finally showed fire. The players held each other accountable, and now they have a chance to turn criticism into combustion. But it won't happen by itself. It won't come from hoping things get better. It'll come from recommitting to every sprint, every rep, every film session like it's a national championship. Because at Alabama, that's not a dream, it's the expectation. And maybe that's the real lesson in all of this, that greatness isn't inherited, it's earned daily through sacrifice, consistency, and respect for those who built the foundation you're now standing on. The players who understand that will thrive, the ones who don't will fade. It's harsh, it's real, and it's exactly what made Alabama great in the first place. If you've made it this far, thank you, sincerely. You're part of a community that doesn't settle, not for mediocre football and not for lazy content. We left a special gift for you in the pinned comment below, a link to our exclusive ebook on this topic. It dives even deeper into the culture shift happening behind the scenes, with context, stories, and lessons every true fan should know. If it makes sense for you, we'd be honored if you grabbed a copy. Doing so directly supports this channel and helps us keep making honest, emotional, and high-impact content like this. Your support isn't just appreciated, it's vital. We've got a promise. If this video hits our community goal, we'll release a follow-up that breaks open even more untold truths and exclusive behind-the-scenes insights. Because if Alabama football taught us anything, it's that the fight never stops.